All right, diving in. Today, we're going to be looking at April 1st, 2025. It's a pretty significant day astrologically, and we're using two sources to guide us. We got Texcale and Tarot by High C.
Excellent sources.
Yeah. So think of this deep dive as like a quick download of the day's energy, astrologically, so you can like really be in tune with what's happening and maybe use that to like improve yourself and like really just, take advantage.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, sometimes they think astrology is like fortune telling or something, but
Hmm.
really, I mean, it's about understanding these energies, and then you can kind of use them to make better decisions for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to go through kind of like the key points, like the highlights of the day. We're not going to go like super deep into like, all the weeds. We just want to give you like what you need, actionable knowledge.
Love that.
Okay, so first off, in the morning, we got this Taurus moon conjunct Uranus. What's that all about?
Well, I mean, the moon in Taurus, it's all about like comfort and routine, and but Uranus is that planet of like sudden change. So when those two get together, expect the unexpected.
Right.
You might feel that urge to like just break free, maybe shake things up a little bit. Your usual routines might feel, well, a little like restrictive all of a sudden.
Okay, so but our listeners, they love efficiency. They're here to like improve themselves, make things work better. So how does this kind of upheaval actually help them?
It's a great point
Yeah.
because it's not just random chaos. It's about like taking a look at those routines and saying, hey, are these really serving me? Or are they holding me back? And this energy can help you like rebuild those routines in a way that's like way more effective.
Ah, so like upgrade, not just like, destroy everything.
Exactly right.
Okay, I like that. And then moving into the midday, we've got a Gemini moon that's sextile Neptune. What's going on with that?
Okay, so that is a much gentler energy. We got that airy Gemini moon connecting with Neptune, which is all about like dreams and intuition and like spirituality even.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. So this is time where you might, have those little aha moments, those flashes of insight, and a good time to brainstorm, to be creative, to kind of tap into that inner wisdom.
Interesting. So let the mind wander a little bit, see what comes up.
Exactly.
Okay. Now this next one, this is pretty big, and it's going to be influencing us for a while. It's Venus retrograde conjunct the North Node. Okay,
Mm.
the sources are saying fated encounters and karmic crossroads. That sounds kind of intense.
It is. It's a big one. Yeah. The North Node, that's like your soul's purpose, right? The direction you're supposed to be growing in. And Venus retrograde, she's all about relationships, values, pleasure. When those two meet, well, it can bring some pretty significant encounters.
Okay, so like new people coming into our lives or maybe existing relationships, like going through a transformation.
Exactly. And it's not just, surface level stuff. There's this past life energy coming into play.
Past life energy. Okay, so break that down for me a little bit because, that can sound kind of like woo woo, but I think there's something really interesting here.
Yeah, it's about like recognizing those deeper patterns,
Okay.
right? Why do certain people feel so familiar? Why are we maybe falling into old relationship habits?
Hmm.
It's about, recognizing that there's more going on beneath the surface, and this can actually be a really good time for forgiveness,
Yeah.
forgiving ourselves, forgiving others for past mistakes, past roles we've played.
Okay, that makes sense. And the sources also mentioned that Venus and the North Node, they meet again later in April on like the 24th. So is that like a resolution point or what?
Yeah, I mean, this first conjunction, it's like bringing things up to the surface,
Yeah.
people, emotions, memories, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then that second conjunction, it's like, okay, now we have a chance to kind of like integrate those lessons and move forward in a clearer way, whether it's career, relationships, finances. Those areas are likely to see some shifts.
Interesting. Okay. So to kind of bring it all together,
Hmm.
what's like the key message, the main takeaway for April 1st based on all this astrological, energy that's going on?
I think it's about being open.
Yeah.
Being open to change, to new perspectives, to your own individuality. There's a lot of spiritual energy at play here, fostering compassion, imagination, all that good stuff. So trust your intuition, follow your heart, and you just might find that things work out in a really beautiful way.
And with all that Neptune energy, should we also be careful about like getting too lost in the clouds, so to speak?
Right, always. Imagination is powerful, but we got to stay grounded too, right?
Yeah.
Keep things practical.
Balance.
Yes, balance.
Yeah. Okay, so to recap this deep dive into April 1st, 2025, we got a lot going on. We've got a push for flexibility, we got that spark of creative thought, and we got a big focus on relationships and personal growth.
And what I love is how those things are all kind of like, weaving together to create this unique atmosphere, this atmosphere that's encouraging you to look inward, but also, really engage with the world around you.
Love it. Okay, a final thought for you, dear listener. Think about, what routines in your life might actually benefit from a little shakeup, right? And maybe, those past connections, those old emotions that are coming up, take some time to reflect on those because they might actually hold really valuable insights for your journey going forward.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it for our deep dive into April 1st.
Until next time.
Keep observing how these energies play out in your own life. It can be really fascinating to see how it all unfolds.
It really is.